Greetings entrepreneurs, it's Ian Scott, your business barista, your enterprise sommelier with the Glasgow Guide to Management Mints, understanding these technical terms that people come out with that you wonder, what the hell are they talking about? Today, much beloved of Dragon's Den, you see Peter Jones going, I like that. That's your USP. There we have it. USP, which stands for Unique Selling Point. I'm going to tell you a personal story. When I started out with my first business over 20 years ago, I went on a high growth business startup program and we were taught absolutely everything. Finance, marketing, and the guy that was doing marketing was obsessed with USPs and market segment. It was a small startup business. He was applying multinational corporation stuff to a guy who was just starting out. Yes, I was going to take people on, but it was totally inappropriate because I was having to do the selling myself, and he wanted to construct a kind of fake sales pitch for me that followed this formula and template. If you've been out there and you've been to one of these business startup seminars or one of these things, you will find there's always some bloke or woman standing down going, now, your USP is very important. How do you find a USP? Well, today, the Glasgow Guide, straightforward, no messing. I'm going to explain it with the aid of this. It's been in the freezer because it is phenomenally rich. It is a chocolate brownie cake. There we go. See that? There must be about 10,000 calories in that particular slice. What's that got to do with a USP? Well, finding a USP, or unique selling point, what is the point of it? A USP is basically something that makes your product different so that you can charge more or people will buy more of it or you stand out from the competition. So, USP, you make more money, you sell more, and you're much more competitive than everybody else. How do you find it? There's only one way. You actually get people to look at your product and service and you listen to what they're saying about it. You, as that great guy Gary Vaynerchuk says, you conversate, you talk and you listen. Listen, listen, listen. So what happened was, I was actually making cakes and the guy that was running this said, well, what's your USP? And I stuck a slice of cake in front of him. He broke a bit off and went, oh, that's delicious. And then realised he had just opened himself up to a sale. What you've got to do is take your product, look at this, it's a piece of chocolate cake. It's vastly rich, but it's made of pure chocolate, raw cane sugar, good chocolate shavings on the top, no preservatives, no additives, extremely high quality. So that in itself tells you that this is a product for the top end of the market. It doesn't look fantastic. So what do? You sell it on the homemade basis. There's another unique selling point. Cakes that look and taste homemade. Or you could find another one. We only use the highest quality fair trade chocolate. Then of course other people start doing that, so you've got to find another thing. So where does this actually take us? Well, what you're trying to do when you're finding your USP is find that little something that makes your product or service distinctive. How do you do it? You take your product out. You don't do market research because market research doesn't involve meeting and speaking to people. You take your product out there and you shove it in front of them as much and as often as you can, and you get them to participate. You watch their reactions, you listen to what they're saying, and you note it all down. And what you can then do with this is you can go, my God, very rich, or wow, really chocolatey. Take all of these words that people have given in response to your product or service, note them down, circle them, you know, kind of there, and bit by bit, you'll find one that occurs again and again and again. There's a kind of beef out there called Kobe beef, which is the richest, most expensive beef. I think it's looked after by nuns or whatever it is. But anyway, it costs a fortune. There you have a USP. This beef costs a fortune. You could buy a small house for what this beef costs. There's the selling point. And if you really want to hammer it home, try and think of something about your product or service that a journalist would be interested in. What makes it different? That's it. It's time consuming. You can't do it on your own. You've got to get out there and you've got to speak to people. But is it worth it? Oh, absolutely. Because if you can come up with something that marks you out as being different from everybody else out there, you've got a head start with your business, you've got a head start with your product, and you've got a head start with sales. So, that's it, the Glasgow Guide, USP, chocolate cake, go talk to people, stuff it in front of their face, and listen. Wait for the reactions. Bit rich for me, but I might just...